happened at a rally that probably either should or shouldn't happen did happen. It was quite a rally. He spoke for, I don't know, 14 hours.
Oh, gosh.
But anyway, so here we go. We'll keep you posted. I don't know. Do we have another quick shot, guys? What's going on back there right now? Okay, we're still waiting for the church service to end. And President Trump and his family will leave the St. John's Church and then head towards the Capitol. So we'll keep you posted on that. All right, more of this and what's going on today when we come back.
Everyone around can see that it's you that we need. Start a fire in me. You are the fire, you are the flame, you are the light on the...
It's your time to fly. It's your journey. Let's make it friendly. We are your airport. Fly MFR.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Lizer with Lizer Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
The Bible is unchanging and timeless, and its words are relevant for every generation. Join Dr. Jeremiah on the next Turning Point as he delivers the unchanging Word of God to an ever-changing world. With his sincere, straightforward teaching style, David Jeremiah provides a rich study of Scripture from which you can find spiritual strength, encouragement, and guidance for today's world. Join Dr. Jeremiah on the next Turning Point.
Wednesdays and weekends on theDove TV.
Disasters happen, and Oregon faces a range of disaster threats, including earthquakes, floods, and storms. You can prepare now by taking 3 important steps. Create a home inventory, make copies of important financial records, and contact your insurance company to make sure you have the right amounts and types of home insurance coverage. Be disaster ready by being insurance ready. Visit dfr.oregon.gov/prepare now to learn how.
Welcome back, and pretty chilly out there this morning, so drive carefully. And what we have here is a picture of a couple things. There's the Capitol, and then there's a picture of the White House. Now, coming up shortly, when the special service is over at the St. John's Church there in Washington, D.C., President-elect Trump will then motorcade over to the White House with a traditional greeting from the current president to the incoming president and their spouses. Now, this is traditional. This is probably marks the greatest indication of a peaceful transfer of power, even though this has been a very bitter election, and it was very hard fought. But apparently, this is the one thing that indicates. Now, normally what happens on something like this is that the current president will show the incoming president a little bit around the White House, kind of like a little escort.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And the incoming First Lady and the current First Lady will go off and have some tea. But from what I understand, that will not happen. They may just have a little bit of a meet and greet, go in and sit down and, I don't know, say a few things and then leave. Normally, an outgoing president will leave an incoming president a note.
Oh.
You know?
Okay.
So we never hear about those until way down the road, years afterwards.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do know that, like in state houses, like in the Senate or in the House, they'll pull out their desk drawer on the floor, whether it's the House and the Senate, and they'll write a note on the wood on the inside and leave it for the incoming person. So anyway, as soon as the service is over, that's what will take place. It is a clear day. It is not what was originally forecasted over a week ago. It is cold, very cold. I think 22 degrees there this morning. Bitter cold, icy, but it is clear blue, and it's not the rain, snow, and ice that they had in the last 24 hours or so. And the parade has been moved indoors to the arena that they had the rally in last night. I'm not sure how they're going to do that. I would imagine they just parade them in one end and out the other. You know, there's supposed to be about 20,000 people who will be able to see it inside. Some will probably line the streets a little bit on the outside. But can you imagine the bands and the veterans groups? And I don't even know if the garbage truck will drive through there or not. But all these people who are members of the parade. And then, of course, the president and the first lady should walk through there. So we'll see how this goes. But a lot of this has been changed because of weather. And I think also probably because of security. And one commentator this morning says they have 3 layers of security.
Wow.
If you can imagine that, 3 layers of security. So there's a picture of the front door of the White House underneath the carport, if I can put it that way. And so the president-elect will come and will be joining the president there. So there we go.
Well, you know, I think we have seen this cold inauguration day happen before, and one president decided to go out and speak in it anyway. Remember William Henry Harrison? He served the shortest term of anybody. He spoke long on a very cold inauguration day, and 30 days later died of pneumonia. Ooh. So, yeah, yes. So, you know, I think there's pretty good reason to bring it inside.
Yeah.
You know, why not? So, anyway.
Well, that's what's happening. We'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
Here's what's happening on the West Coast weather-wise. And, again, we got systems splitting going around us, but not coming to us.
Yeah, and speaking of cold.
It's cold.
We got more coming our way. We got a lot of sunshine. We're going to have pleasant days and really chilly nights. We're going to be in the 20s through Wednesday, and then bumping into 30 as our overnight low, and then back down into the 20s by the weekend. We're going to be in the low 20s overnight. So again, pleasant days, a lot of sunshine, but the storms are splitting out there, and we're not getting them.
We're 27 degrees right now. It is icy and foggy.
And it's in pockets, too, out there. I went through zones where it was worse than others. There was some spots it was 21 degrees as I came through.
Be careful.
So it's nasty out there. Oh, well. All right. Israeli ambassador to the U.S., Michael Herzog, spoke with Fox News about the 3 women hostages released Sunday and what Israel's expectation is in regards to Hamas remaining in power in Gaza.
Those 3 young women are being handed over through the Red Cross to Israel. Romy, Emily, and Doron, they've been in Hamas captivity for 471 days. Just think about it. And this is a great day. We've been waiting for it, and we are waiting for the release of the remaining hostages. We all feel the pain, and we can't think about what people endure during 471 days in captivity, especially the women. And there's a long recovery for everybody. We have to get them back home, all of them. So we are not going to allow Hamas to remain in power in Gaza and try and create the condition for yet another October 7th. So we have to come up with alternatives. They have to be local Palestinians, Gazans, who will rule Gaza, but they are not Hamas. Definitely, I see a role for the U.S. and other regional actors to try and create alternatives to Hamas and stabilize the situation. I also see big opportunities in the region as a whole following the defeat of Hezbollah and the deterrence of Iran. And I'm hopeful and confident that our 2 governments will work together to pursue those opportunities.
Okay, so we don't know the names. We don't know if more are going to be released. Apparently, this is dragging its feet. One thought that occurred late yesterday is the reason of the dragging of the names because they're not alive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the 3 women who have been released were in an area that they could verify if others were there with them. You know they're being interrogated, but we'll have to wait and see. But this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Everything I read was this was a bad deal for Israel, but the only deal that they could make in order to get the hostages back. So the question is, who breaks the deal first?
Yeah.
Number 1, and number 2, is the deal today as we speak solid? Has it been solidified? Apparently some of the deadlines have already come and gone time-wise. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It was really quite rejoicing to see those 3 released, and I can't imagine their stories down the road, what it'll be like.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
Okay. All right, good morning to you. 26 minutes past the hour on this Inauguration Day and Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Let's not forget that.
Yeah.
And for the most part, everybody's got an extra day off, an extra day to the weekend, a day off today. So that and more as the morning news continues.
Awake our souls, tear down the walls, dance in the freedom. Awake our souls, awake our souls, open our eyes to see it.
Bulls, bears, and other market beasts. How can you be sure they won't eat your investments alive? I'm Michelle Slate. Lighthouse Financial shines guiding light on retirement, investing, and insurance. As you navigate the stormy seas of investing, Lighthouse stands out as a beacon of hope, offering you wise counsel and biblically responsible investing. Lighthouse Financial. Call us today, 541-494-1034.
Spring is around the corner and summer is on its way. With fire danger biting at its heels, flammable blackberries and underbrush will grow like gangbusters and sprout fire danger in no time. A wise property owner knows the best time to take care of fire danger is to extinguish it before it gets started. GMV Forestry, LLC can help you protect your property with adequate firebrush clearing to fireproof a zone around your precious property. With over 35 years experience, GMV Forestry LLC has the knowledge, experience, and all the equipment you need to get the job done right, offering a wide variety of services like mulching, field mowing, snow removal, driveway clearing, ditch cleaning, gravel delivery and spreading, driveway sweeping, logging, and more. GMV Forestry LLC does it all, and they do it right. GMV Forestry LLC, the team you can trust. 541-660-6445. 541-660-6445.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Okay, good morning to you. We're monitoring all the events there in Washington, D.C. I think the president-elect is leaving the church. Do we have that, guys? Is that, you got any video? Okay, there he is. This is the motorcade now leaving St. John's Church, where the president attended a private service, and he'll be motorcaded over to the White House, where he'll be greeted by the Bidens and the Harrises, and the traditional of shaking hands and peaceful transfer of power. This is going to be interesting. They'll spend some time there, and then from there they'll be working their way to the Capitol.
Have you ridden in a presidential motorcade before?
Mm-mm.
You haven't? What?
You mean ridden in it?
Ridden, yeah. Have you been in one of the vehicles?
No.
No, okay.
No, it's like driving a cement truck with wheels.
I mean, there are multiple vehicles in there. Who's in all these cars and vans and little trucks? And
yeah,
who is it?
The motorcade is quite industrious, to say the least. But the only thing I can say is kind of like Air Force One. You know, when you got a bunch of planes in the sky, they keep moving them around so you don't know which one's which.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, well, radar being what it is, that's kind of tricky. But in cars, it's very possible that they move the president's car around in the lineup.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
You know,
yeah.
Until they get to a secure
It's kind of
area.
the shell game, huh?
Well, it is,
Yeah.
you know. But so they got a lot of lookalikes, you know.
Okay.
So I wonder if, J.D. Vance family's part of this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they probably have those people involved. So anyway, we're waiting for the motorcade now to go from St. John's Church to the White House. We'll keep you posted on that. In the meantime, let's check in with CBN Newswatch and get caught up on what's really going on in the Middle East.
This is CBN Newswatch. Thanks for joining us for CBN Newswatch. I'm Brody Carter. We've got a lot to get to today. We begin in the Middle East, where many Israelis are rejoicing over the return of the first 3 hostages under the controversial ceasefire agreement. But Hamas fighters come back out of hiding, declaring they've won a big victory over Israel. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has this story.
Joy and tears surrounded the 3 women, Emily Damari, Doron Steinbrecher, and Romy Gonen, as they returned to Israel and the embrace of family and friends. As the 3 arrived at the Sheba Medical Center outside Tel Aviv, the crowd went wild. Friends were beside themselves with joy.
Our hearts are bursting, exploding. She looks just like she did when she left, as special and beautiful as she is.
Inside, the medical professionals took over.
I'm happy to report that they are in stable condition that allows us and them to focus on what is the most important thing for now, is reuniting with their families.
The Israeli military's chief spokesman weighed in after the women's release.
We cannot imagine the horrors these 3 young women have endured in 50 months of Hamas captivity.
Until the last moment in Gaza, the 3 hostages were terrorized, with Hamas gunmen and thousands of Gazan civilians surrounding their convoy and screaming at them. Hamas gave them gift bags with certificates of release, a map of Gaza, and photos of their time in captivity. Then the women were handed over to the Red Cross, which transported them into the hands of Israeli forces. As soon as the ceasefire took place, scores of armed Hamas fighters appeared from their hiding places and quickly took control again in the streets of Gaza. They're declaring they've won a mighty victory over Israel. This image of a conquering Hamas terrorist with his foot on the back of kneeling Benjamin Netanyahu is making the rounds in Arab media. The head of Hamas's military wing put out a video calling for Palestinians in the so-called West Bank to escalate their attacks on Israel. Hagari says the IDF is ready to face any threat.
In this agreement, there are risks and there are challenges. We know how to come back and fight and stand up for all the goals of the war.
Shortly after Hamas freed the 3 women hostages, Israel began releasing 90 Palestinian prisoners. Dozens of them are terrorists who murdered Jews in well-known terror attacks, one of the most frightening aspects for Israelis. As the deal goes forward, Hamas is supposed to release 30 more prisoners in the coming weeks in exchange for hundreds more terrorists. Negotiations are supposed to continue until all hostages are released and a permanent ceasefire is in place. With the Trump administration taking over today, Senator Lindsey Graham insists Hamas' declaration of victory will be short-lived.
This war will never end with Hamas in charge of Gaza, politically or militarily. Their days are numbered.
Graham also suggests that the new administration gives support to Israel in dealing with an even larger threat, an Iran that could soon be armed with nuclear bombs.
I am hoping there will be an effort by Israel to decimate the Iran nuclear program supported by the United States. And if we don't do that, it will be a historical mistake.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is with us now from Jerusalem. Chris, this deal making waves nationwide, and in Washington, Senator Lindsey Graham says Hamas's days are numbered, but Hamas is calling this deal a victory. So how strong or weak is Hamas now, and how can Israel make sure that Hamas does not come out as the winner?
Well, Brody, they're certainly declaring that they are the winner. How does Israel go back to declare? Go back to fighting and defeat them once for all. As we saw, the Palestinians are celebrating. Hamas is claiming a victory. And right now, the IDF offensive is stopped, and we hear, eventually, Brody, there's going to be 1,700 Palestinians released if this deal continues. 1,000 of those would be prisoners from the fighting in Gaza. Another would be 700 terrorists, many, as Julie said in her report, with blood on their hands. Really, this has been Hamas's strategy from the beginning, using the hostages as really trade bait, along with the international pressure to just stop the IDF. So right now, at least in some parts of Gaza, Hamas is taking control. They're also in control of the humanitarian aid And as we saw right now here in Israel, Brody, it's a reeling and conflicted time. It's an open wound on Israeli society, these hostages. It's one big family. Many are euphoric about the release of the three women, Doron, Romy, and Emily. Tears, celebrations, and yet so many are concerned that those released prisoners will kill again. And it's not just theoretical. It's been chronicled. For example, back in 2011, more than 1,000 Palestinians were released for one IDF soldier, and the Shin Bet Israel security agencies say those terrorists killed over 190 Israelis.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. In the meantime, a quick shot back at the White House. The Harris has just greeted the Vances, if I can say it that way. So yeah, the current vice president and the incoming vice president, they have greeted each other out front and have gone into the White House. Now we're waiting for President-elect Trump and Melania Trump to show up and be greeted by the Bidens. So this is part of the, the ceremony that takes place on this day. And so they're inside there, and we'll keep you posted on that. In the meantime, let's check in with the guy that knows everything about everything, including weather.
High pressure will remain in place through the week, maintaining dry conditions. So today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, widespread frost before 9 a.m., then sunny and low to mid-40s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Continuing down the Willamette Valley with widespread frost before 10 a.m., then sunny skies with daytime high temperatures in the low 40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with a light northwest wind. Sunny skies today across central Oregon with daytime high temperatures in the low to mid-30s for Prineville, Bend, and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, sunny with a high near 31 and low in the upper teens. Along the Oregon coast, widespread frost mainly before 10 a.m., then sunny with daytime highs near 55 for Coos Bay and Port Orford, sunny in Brookings and near 54, and Crescent City with a high near 57. Early patchy freezing fog for the Rogue Valley, then clearing to sunny skies with daytime highs near 42 in Grants Pass, 39 in Medford, and 44 in Ashland. In the Klamath Basin, sunny with a high near 37. Into Northern California, sunny with daytime high temperatures in the mid-40s in Wairika, near 60 in Redding and upper 50s in Chico, early frost and sunny in low 60s in Sacramento. Sunny and breezy across the Bay Area with daytime highs in the low 60s for Santa Rosa, Napa, and San Francisco with a northeast wind gusting up to 34 miles per hour. And today in San Jose, sunny and near 64. It's a look at your Monday weather on the Dove.
Okay. No new snow, but it's sure pretty.
Yeah, you're right about that. There is no new snow on there, but it is nice, and they continue to operate.
Did you ski over the weekend?
We did. A couple days. So yeah, it was nice. Yeah,
good.
Great. We did a little night skiing, and then we did some day skiing. We got it all in. So, well, anyway, we're watching.
I live at your house.
What's that? Yeah,
I want to come live with you guys.
Well, we are watching history being made today, and I like to do an on this day in history, and it is a big day for our country as we watch the event unfold. But it was on this day in history that the very first presidential inauguration parade was carried live on TV. On January 20th, 1949, a historic moment unfolded as Harry Truman took the oath of office for his first full term as president. But it wasn't just the inauguration ceremony that caught the nation's attention. It was the parade that followed, broadcast live for the very first time ever. 10 million people, a staggering number for that time, tuned in to watch the inaugural parade on television. For the first time, Americans could experience the spectacle of marching bands, soldiers, and floats from the comfort of their homes. The streets of Washington, D.C. were filled with excitement, but the real magic was happening in living rooms across the country, where families gathered around their new TV sets to witness history in real time. It was a day that not only marked Truman's victory, but also the dawn of a new era in mass media, forever changing the way people connected with their government and with each other. Okay. And they wore top hats.
Okay, well, our parade will go through a building this year.
I guess so.
Which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let us not forget that today is also Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and here's a little bit of I've Been to the Mountaintop speech.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Martin Luther King Jr., April 3rd, 1968, and the following day, he was assassinated. Right there in Memphis, Tennessee. So a lot to think about as we recognize his day today as well. I had a quick shot back with Newsmax, and what we're waiting here is, well, I got all kinds of things going on. I guess what's going to happen, I don't know what's going to happen here. I know that they're waiting for President-elect to go to the White House and to meet up with President Biden and his family there. The Vance, the vice president-elect, has already been there and has been greeted by the Harrises. And then, of course, then after all of that will be...
I'm seeing a helicopter in front of the Capitol building. Whose is that?
Well, see, I don't know what that is.
Huh?
I don't know what that is. So, well, it's a helicopter in front of the Capitol.
I was like, okay.
That could be there for security. You know what? That could be to fly off President Biden.
Yeah, when it's all
it's all said and done. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. Well, we're wondering.
I should know that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So anyway, the motorcade with President-elect is now on its way to the White House, and gosh, you know, it's not as if he hasn't been in there before.
Yeah. Now, they say here, Blair House. See up in the left-hand corner?
Mm-hmm.
So what are they doing at Blair House?
I don't know. Melania had to go back and change. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Well, traditionally is the incoming president spends the night before his inauguration in the Blair House. That's been a tradition for years.
Oh, okay.
And that's just around the corner from the White House. So maybe he had to go back. Maybe he left his notes for his speech.
Okay.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know.
Yeah.
All right, we'll keep you posted
Could
on
be.
that. We'll come back to that. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
There will come a time when you can make it on your own. And if you're out of desperation, know you're not the only one praying low.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Hi, I'm John Earson Tata, and we sure are a proud and independent people, aren't we? Just ask yourself, what would you do if you were crossing a street and, I don't know, a Boy Scout reached out to steady your arm, you'd probably give the young man an odd look and politely shake him off, right? But let's say the traffic was obscured by a blinding snowstorm, huh? Maybe then you would appreciate the aid of a steady arm. Well, right there, that's the reason why God fills your life with so many troubles. Because it is in hard times that the Lord reminds you that you can't do it on your own. You can't mend your broken heart or heal your aching body. And in that reminder, God extends His helping hand, giving strength when you are weary and healing when your heart is bruised. So, when facing trouble, don't shake off God's hand of grace and guidance. After all, He is, as Psalm 46 puts it, your ever-present help in any trouble. And that means any trouble.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
One of the few things He asks us to do after we accept Him is to further His kingdom. And that's important.
When we give, the gospel is going out to reach people.
Bible stories are broken down in a way that children can understand it.
I think of that scripture that says, what you have done for these little ones, you have done unto me.
Watch the 700 Club Monday morning at 11 on the Dove TV.
Okay, welcome back. 13 minutes before the hour. A lot going on this day, obviously, in our nation. And the service at the St. John's Church is over. The vice president-elect has already gone to the White House and met with the current vice president. President Trump-elect, I've got to get all these titles right, just dropped his family off at the Blair House.
Yep.
Maybe they're going over to McDonald's and they're back in or something. And then I think we'll go there. We've got some pictures here. So that is the backside of the Capitol. So basically what you have there, when the inauguration is over, the two presidents will walk out on that step, which is the kind of another ceremonial thing. And they'll walk down those steps, and President Biden and the First Lady will be in Marine One. And I think they'll be taken to the Air Force Base, put on Air Force One, and then flown up to their home in, where are they from?
What are they, Delaware?
Delaware, excuse me, yeah. So anyway, that's traditionally what happens. Sometimes they use a car, but apparently today with the blue skies, they're going to use the helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot going on. One of the things that we've been talking about today is that the president-elect has said there's going to be a lot of executive orders signed. I've read somewhere between 100 and 200 executive orders. Now, President Trump, being the showman that he is, probably is going to sign these at various times throughout the day. Some people say he's even going to sign them late tonight at some of the balls that he goes to. There are like 5 balls that will be going on tonight.
Gosh.
So, being the showman that he is, he'll probably sign some of these. But some stuff that is going to occur immediately within the next couple of hours is pretty significant.
Yeah, it says that one of these orders may be a deployment of U.S. troops to the southern border. Can you imagine?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it would be troops and not the National Guard.
Is the National Guard U.S. troops?
Yeah.
Are they one and the same? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think so. He also is going to stamp out Biden-era parole policies and designate international cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
There you go.
Whoa, it's going to be a busy first day on the job, isn't it? Hey, let me ask you this. What do you think the flavor is going to be when these two men meet each other again, Donald Trump and Joe Biden? We see a flurry of pardons, preemptive pardons on the part of Joe Biden.
Yeah, last night.
Yeah, people who have been, out to get Donald Trump. And it's interesting because, and it's not just those. I mean, we see guys like Fauci who, perpetrated the big hoax over the country and the world. But Joe Biden's been saying that he's going to protect these people from the vindictiveness of the incoming president. And we've seen how the administration and the government has been weaponized against Donald Trump. Is there going to be a lot of tension in this next meeting, or are they going to let bygones be bygones, even though they're still elbowing each other?
I don't think the bygones will be bygones. I think both of these men will rise to the occasion and do what is expected of them.
Okay.
And that is to do a peaceful transfer of power.
All right.
They couldn't be further apart philosophically, ideologically, politically than they are right now.
Yeah.
And it's even contentious up until late last night with these pardons.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the only thing I can say is I really believe that both men will do what's required of them, and for the dignity of the office, and for the, quite frankly, the dignity and the security of the United States, they will be nice to each other, let's put it that way.
All right.
But the comments after today will be pretty tough.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So, anyway, what we're seeing here is part of the motorcade. Some people being dropped off at the Blair House. Looks like the family will go there and stay there until it's time to move over to the Capitol. The president-elect and First Lady, or to be again, Melania, will be working their way to the White House. So all of this is going on as we speak. But the executive orders coming out today, they said that there will be signed. Oh, I learned something else too. I thought they would be pre-signed.
Okay, yeah.
No, can't do that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, sure, because he's not president, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So anyway, what's happening is that he will sign them throughout the day. And since the parade is going to be moved indoors, he could be signing executive orders as the garbage truck goes by.
Yeah, I'm looking. Yeah.
So this is part of the family and people being taken over to the Capitol. Now, you got to remember, this is highly restrictive. These are various people that are going to be, of the 600 and some odd people that are going to be allowed inside the rotunda. So they're being escorted into the Capitol now, and there'll be probably, there's probably some receptions in there, and then they'll go to their various
I'm
places.
looking at the forecast right now for Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Do you know the temperature is going to drop today? It's going to be, by this afternoon, it's going to be about 19 degrees.
Yeah.
And they're expecting gusty winds up to 28 miles an hour.
Really?
Oh, it's going to be tough. No wonder they're going inside.
Yeah, this is tough.
Wow.
So anyway, we see a variety of things that are taking place, and we'll keep you posted on this as the president-elect gets closer to the White House. There's these receptions going on. And I don't know who's allowed of the 600 now. It was said last night that President Reagan, the way they set up, remember, for his second term, he was sworn in inside because of weather.
Oh, okay.
And they crowded close to 1,000 people in there.
Oh.
But for the Trump deal, they've arranged it differently. There's red carpet, there's podiums, there's other things, and so they're doing it a little bit different. And so they only have about 640, I think they said, people that will be allowed in there. So I would imagine not all members of Congress will be there.
Oh, well, I know AOC is not going to be there.
Well, okay. There's a bad day.
Yeah, it's happening. Yep.
Yeah. So there's the motorcade now as we're watching it. There's the bleachers that people would be watching the parade, but that's not happening.
That's not happening, yeah.
No. So anyway, the
go.
motorcade is entering into the White House area there.
Yeah.
And this ought to be pretty interesting.
Right, yeah, I can't wait. I want to see this. I want to see, is Melania coming in? Is she going to be there?
Earlier reports said that she declined to have the tea with Dr. Jill Biden.
Right.
Okay, which is somewhat a tradition of first ladies incoming and outgoing on this day at this occasion. So it could be that what's going to happen here is that the Trumps and the Bidens will graciously meet, shake hands, go inside. I don't know if they'll tell jokes and then come out. I don't know what's going to go on.
Yeah.
To your point, I think the tension is high, but I think it's going to be respectful.
Okay. Well, I hope so. I do.
It should be.
Yeah, it should be in here. Okay.
So here we go. So
Yeah.
here's the President Biden and First Lady Dr. Jill Biden standing, waiting for the Trumps to show up. This is, you got to ask yourself, what's really going on in their mind and their heart and their head? Right?
Yes. What? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, time will tell.
Yep.
I would say that President Biden has had the toughest year of his life.
I would think
this
so.
last year.
Oh, man.
And it hasn't been good.
This is stunning.
This is absolutely stunning.
It is.
So,
here's Melania.
There's Melania. So here they come.
She looks wonderful. Look at that hat.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
So they shake each
They're
other's
all
hands.
shaking hands.
Okay.
Okay.
So we have the Bidens and the Trumps doing the ceremonial greeting. The wind's starting to pick up, you can see there.
You know what? This says a lot for our country. You talk about the differences that these guys have, and that we can still do this, a peaceful transfer of power like this.
Now, this picture is different than the vice president's picture.
Yeah, because they split.
They split spouses.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, yes, absolutely.
They didn't on this one.
Right.
So.
Nope. And they're all, interesting. Wow.
All right, so the Trumps and the Bidens have entered the White House, and wouldn't you like to be a mouse in the room?
Oh, I would give anything to be in there. Oh, man.
Well, I can't help but think this is all ceremonial.
Yeah.
And
At Sweet Tea Express, we've got you covered. Order at the counter and our friendly service staff will do the rest. Burgers, salads, sandwiches, barbecue platters, sides, and more. Smoked, grilled, and served to perfection. Sweet Tea Express. Breakfast, burgers, and barbecue.
Hi, I'm the SOS Alarm guy, here to tell you about a great deal. SOS Alarm will not only beat any internet deal, but will install the system too. So burglars, beware. SOS Alarm for security and beyond.
The Bible, when you think about it, is the ultimate group project. Think about this. It was written by over 40 different authors over a period of 1,500 years. Authors came from various countries. Most of them didn't know one another. They used a variety of styles, and yet it all fit together perfectly. It has one unified theme, and that theme is Jesus Christ.
Images are devastating, and the stories heartbreaking.
Families and individuals have lost everything. The wildfires in Los Angeles are the most destructive in city history.
The fire victims need our help.
If the Lord has put it on your heart to help those affected by these historic fires, listed are organizations sharing the love of Christ in much-needed relief efforts to the LA fire victims.
The Dove cares. God bless you.
And thank you for your help.
You're watching the Dove TV, encouraging and informative for Monterey and the Central California coast. Seen on Channel 14 and these Dove TV affiliates.
Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove on this amazing day in American history, as the 47th President of the United States will be sworn in about 2 hours. or before. A little less than 2 hours. And we also will be celebrating and recognizing Martin Luther King Jr.'s day today, birthday, and his life and his memory and contribution. So there's a lot going on. Most of the events in Washington, D.C. today are being moved indoors, including a parade.
Yes.
They're going to parade through the building,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting.
I want to see how that works.
I can't wait to see the garbage truck go through that building. Anyway, quite historic. Quite a few things have already happened. The president-elect has already gone to St. John's Church and had a special service with him and his family, and the vice president and their family. The vice president-elect and the president-elect have now been greeted by the Bidens and the Harrises at the White House, and as we speak, they're in the White House doing the ceremonial meet and greet. It's not as if they both don't know where the bathroom is. They know the place pretty well.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
So anyway, that's going on, and then after that, I think they go back to the Blair House for a little bit, and then they make the trip down to the Capitol. So we'll keep you posted on all that. Good morning. I am Jerry Bilden's excuse to get up in the morning.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Anyway, happy big day in America. By the way, just about every government, schools, everybody's off today because of Martin Luther King Day. Banks are closed, schools are off, government shut down. And outside our building, it is icy.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a pretty good day to have off, especially with the way the roads look. And it was light coming in this morning, too. I will say that.
It was.
And it wasn't fast. It's slick out there.
It is slick out there.
And cold.
Anything special today?
Yes, it is. You mentioned it. It's Inauguration Day. It's also Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And on top of that, National Disc Jockey Day, or DJ Day. The first disc jockey was an experiment on the airwaves. Some would say it still is. In 1909, 16-year-old Ray Newby was a student under the supervision of Charles Doc Harold at the Harold College of Engineering and Wireless, and he played the first records over the airwaves before the word disc jockey even existed. So
I'm sure that wasn't Rush Limbaugh.
or Wolfman Jack. Yeah, it could have been Rush.
Yeah.
It could have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, and this world has changed a lot. You know, even in the days that I've been here, you know, we were playing CDs then, and I was playing them live, and now everything's on a hard drive, everything's in the computer. But, you know, you still have the essentials. You have a microphone and an on-off switch.
Some of us have gone through vinyl.
Oh, yeah.
Through cassettes, through 8-track, through cart machines.
Carts, yes.
And then CDs.
Yes.
Now you do it all digital.
Now it's all digital. In fact, we used to play CDs on the air, and then we would use CDs to put, you know, the music input into the computer. Now you can't even do that anymore. It's all files. It's
I
all
remember
digital
back
files.
timing a record. You'd set it up and you put it in queue.
Yeah.
And then you do a quarter or a half turn back with your hand. So that when you push the button, it would catch up. So it wouldn't go wah wah wah.
Yeah.
So the music would start.
Yep. When I started, I would make little notes on all the songs that I was playing, on how long the intro was before they started singing, so I could shut up by the time they started singing.
How'd that work out?
It didn't. I'm still learning, man. I'm still trying to figure it out.
that.
I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's also National Cheese Lovers Day. And thousands of years ago, people transported milk and stored it in sheep's stomachs. Left to sit for days, the proteins would separate into curds and whey. From there, preserving the solids with salt was probably a logical next step, and that's what they did. So there are now over 1,400 varieties of cheese, and the earliest record of cheese making, now it's not saying this was when it started, but the earliest record of cheese making dates back to about 5,500 BC, and it is in what is now known as Poland.
Oh.
Polish cheese? So anyway, it's all good. We like it. And for a little bit of a topping it all off, National Butter Crunch Day. Sounds a lot like Toffee Day to me, but Butter Crunch recognizes the flavorful toffee candy that comes in several varieties. And Butter Crunch is a combination of toffee covered with chocolate primarily, and it looks like a Heath bar.
I have one question.
What?
Why should you pay full price for cheese that has holes in it?
Well, if they're selling it by the pound, that makes sense.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Well, here's a guy's full price all the time. He does the weather here.
High pressure will remain in place through the week, maintaining dry conditions. So today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, widespread frost before 9 a.m., then sunny and low to mid-40s for Vancouver, Portland, Wilsonville, and McMinnville. Continuing down the Willamette Valley with widespread frost before 10 a.m., then sunny skies with daytime high temperatures in the low 40s for Salem, Albany, Corvallis, and Eugene with a light northwest wind. Sunny skies today across central Oregon with daytime high temperatures in the low to mid-30s for Prineville, Bend, and Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, sunny with a high near 31 and low in the upper teens. Along the Oregon coast, widespread frost mainly before 10 a.m., then sunny with daytime highs near 55 for Coos Bay and Port Orford, sunny in Brookings and near 54, and Crescent City with a high near 57. Early patchy freezing fog for the Rogue Valley, then clearing to sunny skies with daytime highs near 42 in Grants Pass, 39 in Medford, and 44 in Ashland. In the Klamath Basin, sunny with a high near 37. Into Northern California, sunny with daytime high temperatures in the mid-40s in Wairika, near 60 in Redding, and upper 50s in Chico. Early frost, then sunny and low 60s in Sacramento. Sunny and breezy across the Bay Area with daytime highs in the low 60s for Santa Rosa, Napa, and San Francisco with a northeast wind gusting up to 34 miles per hour. And today in San Jose, sunny and near 64. It's a look at your Monday weather on the Dove.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's the pre-sunrise. There's a glow.
Above the fog.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
have fog down below.
Good
Really,
place
really
to be,
thick stuff.
yeah.
Be careful down there.
All right. Well, Pastor Greg Laurie is here. He says that the church should be... Uh-oh, I'm on the wrong Greg Laurie. Yeah. Do you want revival in our country?
Yes.
Yeah. What would it take?
Humble people.
I think so. Well, Greg Laurie has God's prescription for revival.
When we look at the breakdown in culture, we're quick to point the finger at Hollywood. It's Hollywood's fault. Or it's because of these politicians in Washington, D.C., and they may all play a role in it to some degree. But when God sees the breakdown of a nation, he doesn't point his finger at the White House. He points it at his house. 2 Chronicles 7:14, God says, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then God says, then I will hear them and I will answer this prayer and I will forgive their sins and heal their land. You know, we all gravitate toward the heal the land part. Yes, Lord, heal our land. God says, my people. That means you. That means me. That means us. Oh, they're all so evil. Look at the horrible things we're all doing. Yeah, maybe it's true. What about you? Do you need to humble yourself and seek his face and turn from your wicked ways? Do I need to do that? That's the prescription for revival according to Scripture.
Okay. Well, judgment starts first in the house of God.
Yeah.
We have a hard time remembering that. All right, let's take a quick look at the headlines as we talk. Gaza ceasefire is or is not. I mean, it has happened to a point where they have released 3 women from Gaza to Israel, and at that stage or phase 1. But there is concern as to whether or not the rest will be released. Already, Hamas has not released the list. Part of the agreement in phase 1 would be a list. So we'll see how this goes. They're hoping that the IDF doesn't have to take any further action. The big question is this a temporary ceasefire? Is this what this really is? And will it result in lasting peace? There's quite a few contributions to this. We've gotten this far this fast because of President Trump saying all hell would be paid if they didn't do something. Well, we're still waiting to see what happens. So we'll keep you up on that. In the meantime, last night, President Biden issued numerous unconditional pardons. I mean, they are all over the place. Dr. Fauci got one. All the people on January 6th got one. Listen to this, if you're ready for this. Special Counsel Jack Smith got one. FBI Director Christopher Wray got one. Attorney General Merrick Garland got one, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Miley, got one. Now, I understand those who have been given these unconditional pardons have to accept them, so we'll see if they accept them.
Okay. Let me ask you, is accepting a presidential pardon an admission of guilt?
Well, in their case, it's being propagated as protection against the incoming administration for weaponizing the government against them. Have we heard that one before?
Oh, yeah.
So don't forget that the Democrats get an A+ in blaming you for what they're doing.
Right.
But of course, it's admission of guilt. Okay, so we'll see who accepts these and who doesn't.
Yeah.
But I think what it does do, it pretty much tells the world, especially those who have abandoned the left, to say, you guys are crazy. This is an admission.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
All right, back to the Middle East.
All right. Well, Israeli ambassador to the U.S. spoke with Fox News and explained the three-phase ceasefire hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas and the possible role for the U.S. in the future of Gaza.
This is a phase deal. It has 3 stages. This is stage 1, which is about releasing women, elderly, and the sick and wounded. Second phase is the remaining live hostages, males, and then the third stage is about the bodies. We, on day 16 of this stage, we start negotiating the next phase. It's going to be tough because both sides have their own demands and expectations, and to the extent that Hamas does not comply or live up to what they are required to do, then we'll have to go back and apply pressure on them. The fact that we got this deal is because of 2 elements. One was defeating Hamas, the pressure we put on them, and the fact that we degraded Hezbollah and deterred Iran. Hamas was all the time hoping that we'll get to a regional war that will stop Israel and Gaza. That hasn't happened. They understand they're on their own, and that pushed them towards the deal. Second element, since President Trump came into the picture and said he wants a deal, I think that factored into their own calculations. We have seen now an unprecedented cooperation between the outgoing administration and incoming administration. We had in Doha, Qatar, Special Envoy Brett McGurk representing President Biden and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff presenting President Trump. They work cooperatively, and this helped us get across the finish line. I can say I've been in touch with Steve Witkoff constantly. He's done a great job.
Okay. We'll see. More has to be done, and will it be done today? We'll see.
Yeah.
All right, in the meantime, coming up in just a little while, President-elect Trump will put his hand on 2 Bibles. The first one is from his mother, that was given to him at the graduation of his youth. I guess at that point would have been his catechism within his church, where he and the clergy of his church signed the Bible, and his name is engraved on the cover of it. And then below that will be the Lincoln Bible. And so the 2 Bibles that he will take the oath of office on. If you missed yesterday's rally, it was really something. It was quite an array of speeches and things and people. But one of the cute moments were the Trump grandkids reciting the Pledge of Allegiance at the rally.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's really good.
That was pretty cute. So later on today in that same venue will be the parade. They're going to do the parade through the building. People have been standing in line since 4:30 this morning to get into the building for the parade. So I don't know if people outside of the building will be able to see the parade entering and exiting the building. But the temperatures, as we speak, are like 21 degrees and expected to get to 12 degrees tonight. That's pretty cold.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and we'll join some of the festivities when we come back.
Stars will fly as grace collides with the dark inside of us. So please don't fight this coming.
Worried that inflation might burst your retirement bubble? I'm Michelle Slate. Lighthouse Financial shines guiding light on retirement, investing, and insurance. Helping you navigate the stormy seas of retirement, Lighthouse stands tall as a beacon of hope, offering you wise counsel and biblically responsible investing. Lighthouse Financial. Call us today, 541-494-1034.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
National Religious Broadcaster's 2024 TV Station of the Year Award winner, theDove TV.
Welcome back. Inauguration Day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and as we speak, you can see there that members of Congress are starting to file in. So I don't know who's allowed in. It's supposed to be limited, so we'll see.
Yeah.
You know, they've been working through the night, putting names on seats and
oh yeah, sure,
where everybody goes. Excuse my voice here. And so we'll keep you tracked on that. We'll come back to that, but we're still waiting for the president-elect and vice president-elect to leave the White House and probably go back to the Blair House and then gather up the family and head on down to the Capitol. By the way, all this is going to be done indoors, which is, excuse me, so amazing to me. That
I want to see what if they're taking the parade through the building, how are they getting him in and out? Do they have big garage doors on this thing? What is it?
Well, I imagine they do, but
yeah.
I want to see the garbage truck ride by.
I want to see that. Yes. Yeah.
So, but in the meantime, the pardons have occurred. We're still trying to figure out. The list is huge.
Yeah.
So it looks like the cars. Who's leaving? Somebody there picking up somebody.
I don't know. Is that the Beast?
Yeah.
It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The presidential limo. Huh.
Yeah. So. By the way, I wonder if President Trump is going to be able to finish the deal on ordering a new Air Force One.
Oh,
remember he was ordering 2 Air Force Ones.
Right.
It was time for that.
Yeah.
And he had the paint scheme changed, and everybody came unglued.
Yes.
And in the meantime, he has to do it with Boeing.
Right. Yeah.
Boeing's got a lot of problems.
Oh, look at who's there.
Oh, there's Bill Clinton
and Hillary.
He's got his. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, all of the ex-presidents who are living are going to attend, aren't they?
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
So there's the rotunda.
There's the rotunda, getting ready for the swearing in. Isn't this interesting?
Yes.
Wow.
So.
Wow.
I don't know how you cut thousands down to hundreds.
Yeah.
How you do this.
Yeah, there's Wasserman Schultz. He just went by. Yeah, how do you get on this list?
I don't know. I would imagine senators, leadership of the House. By the way, I think the constitutional requirement calls for the leader of the House, the leader of the Senate, and to be there. And then all of the Supreme Court. There's McCarthy.
McCarthy.
Yeah.
He didn't know he wasn't on the list.
There's
I guess.
There's Newt Gingrich's wife.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, by constitutional requirement, you have to have the leader of the House, the leader of the Senate, and the Supreme Court, the justice and the assistant, what do they call them, the Chief Justice and the assistant Chief Justice, which I believe is Kavanaugh and Roberts.
Okay.
And then all of the other Supreme Court, and they all have to be in their robes. So this is all taking place.
Yeah.
It's really fun to watch. It's just fascinating. His speech is supposed to be pretty amazing. Probably will not only say what he's going to do, but it probably will pre-announce some of the EOs this morning, the executive orders.
Yeah, and I hear it's going to be a flurry, huh?
Well, they said 100 to 200. It was, you know, last night there was pressure on him not to do it so fast. And I'm quoting him now. He said, "To hell with that."
Wow, really?
Yeah, he said, "I ain't doing that." You know, can't you just kind of spread this out over a month? And he goes, "No, I ain't doing that."
Yeah.
So I think there's Vivek.
Ramaswamy.
By the way, did you hear what he's going to do?
No.
He may be leaving Doge a little early and run for governor of Ohio.
No way.
Yes.
Well,
he's basically pre-announced his pre-announcement.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Ohio, I didn't know he was.
Well, the win is
Ohio.
term limited out.
Okay.
It's up for grabs in 26. So he's got to be on the campaign trail sometime this year.
Where in Ohio does he live?
I don't know.
What?
Does he own a town somewhere?
Good question.
But he is going to run for governor of Ohio. Now, by the way, Elon Musk yesterday spoke at the rally. I have to say this about Elon.
What?
He's a smart guy that should never be in public.
Oh, no, why?
He can't talk.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah.
He's not an orator.
Yeah.
He's not a polished person.
Yeah.
Okay, he's
an engineer.
He's a Rough Rider engineer. He's a Rough Rider, entrepreneur.
Yeah. Well, he should speak. He should just stick with speaking Engineerese.
Yeah. But he got up and spoke at the rally, and I'm going, "What are you saying?"
Yeah, I wonder. I didn't see that.
Yeah, he can't. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a lot of people that are brilliant.
Yeah.
Can I put two words together?
That's funny. Yeah.
That says a lot about you and I. So we must really be stupid. All we do is throw words out.
That's it. Oh man.
But anyway,
golly.
I'm listening. I thought, well, okay, he's obviously a smart guy. There's no question about it. But I would be very reluctant to have him run for public office or anything like that. He can't do that. That's not his thing. He put him in a room and let him think.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, there's the incoming crowd to the Oval Office. Now, think about this. They got an hour and a half to get the president sworn in.
Okay.
And the president has to leave where he's at the White House, probably go back to the Blair House for a few moments, look at his speech, and then be, motorcade up to the Capitol.
Okay, so this is in the rotunda?
Yes.
Okay, and how many people can they seat in there for this?
They got about 600 in there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's arranged different than when it was very last minute for President Reagan to move indoors because of the weather. And they crammed everybody. I don't think anybody was seating. I think everybody was standing during the rain. They had like 1,000 people in there, a few people seating. But this is entirely different. And look, this is so amazing in so many ways. This is a president that should have never come back to office for what was thrown at him.
Yeah.
He fought lawsuits and bullets to get to this moment.
Good point, yes. Yeah.
This is an amazing time in American history. It's absolutely stunning that he is being sworn in again. And love him or hate him, this is a big moment in American history.
Yes, it is.
And I can't help but think that Washington's brain is on tilt because you got an outsider, a non-politician, you got an entrepreneur, a contractor, a developer, taking over the reins. I've never seen anybody that was more tuned to business and numbers than this president.
Yes.
He is bottom line driven. He's ROI driven.
Right.
And so unlike anything, everybody else has always been politically driven.
Right, and such a Washington outsider.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so far outside.
So this is an amazing moment. I can't help it. The D's are on tilt.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take them, I think, decades to recover.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't think that they're going to handle this well because as much as the media, what little left media is for the Democrats, they can't even get their story straight now.
Right, yeah.
And so it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I guess that was the vice president left. This could be President Trump.
We're trying to figure out limos.
Would you like to ride in it?
Yeah, I would love to ride in one of those. Oh, man.
Did you see the training of the drivers?
No, that's got to be something.
So they have these. They have two other ones that are not marked. And they take them out to the track. They have to back up fast.
Oh, sure, I bet.
They have to spin it.
And that thing's got to be hard to spin. That thing's got to weigh a ton, huh?
They got to be able to drive it in ice and snow and everything else. Until the one, who was it? Was it George W. Bush or was it Obama? Oh, it was Obama, President Obama, that got high-strung over a railroad track in France somewhere.
Oh, that's a bad day.
Yeah, and they had to come and pull it off.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But no, these drivers go through quite the training where they have to be able to step on it.
Yeah.
And drive it backwards as fast as they can drive it forward.
I can't imagine the training that's involved in the presidential limo driver.
Yeah, this isn't your average Uber driver just taking the president up one street, you know.
Yeah. You just don't get a Richard Petty and say, you're going to drive for me?
No.
No, I guess not.
Okay. No stocks today. That's pretty obvious. But we can go to...
You want to go to Matt Brooks?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. Matt Brooks is the CEO of Republican Jewish Coalition, and he spoke with Mike Huckabee as to why he thinks Trump is Israel's greatest friend and how his administration will deal with rising anti-Semitism.
There is only one pro-Israel president, and that's Donald J. Trump. From 2016 to 2020, he was the most pro-Israel president ever in history. I would argue that Joe Biden was one of the least pro-Israel presidents ever in history. And I have zero doubt that the team of Trump and Huckabee together will not just make America great again, but make Israel great again, and are going to be a dynamic duo in strengthening that relationship. For the first time ever in my lifetime, and for the first time for people in many generations, there is real fear. There is real anxiety among the Jewish community. Simply walking the streets of New York wearing a kippah or a Star of David, people are afraid that they're going to get physically attacked. College students on campuses are fearful of walking across the quads on their campus for being attacked both verbally and physically. This is unacceptable. And the reality is that in the guise of populism and progressivism, we have tolerated what is being said on college campuses, their support of the Palestinian cause from the river to the sea, as being free speech, and you know, it is their progressivism, not that they're being anti-Semitic or anti-Israel, which they are, but that's why it's being tolerated. And you know, Governor, when we as a nation start to tolerate the intolerable, that's when nations decline. And I think the one thing that President Trump made clear in this campaign, and one of the reasons that he did so well among Jewish voters, is that he made clear there's going to be a new sheriff in town, and that those students on these campuses, many of whom are here on foreign visas, if they want to traffic in this vile anti-Semitism, and if they want to physically and mentally torment and abuse Jewish students on campus, they're going to have their visas. They're going to have their visas withdrawn, and they're going to be sent back home where they belong. I mean, there's going to be a zero tolerance policy with this president, with Attorney General Pam Bondi, with Kash Patel at the FBI. We're going to make sure that this stuff comes to an end.
Good deal.
There you go.
Good deal.
Let's go back to the White House real quick. I think we have President Trump. Did he already get in? I don't think so yet.
No, I don't think so.
What we're seeing here is, by the way, for those who want to know what we're doing here, we are a Newsmax partner. And Newsmax 2 is aired on the Dove 18.2 channel. And Chris Ruddy's a friend of ours, friend of mine, and he was president of Newsmax. By the way, they went public, and boy, their company is just taken off like crazy. So we have, we're using that relationship to bring you these live shots this morning. Otherwise, our camera crew wasn't allowed inside.
I'm glad we have Newsmax.
Yeah. So what we're waiting for is President-elect Trump. Oh, here they come back.
Here they
out.
come.
All right.
Yeah.
So what we have here is
First ladies.
the two first ladies getting back into the car. Oh, maybe they're all getting in, going to the...
Are they going to ride together? Huh? Oh. So the first ladies are going in a car alone?
Yeah.
That would be an interesting conversation, or maybe lack thereof. I wonder.
I don't know.
You know what I would...
I didn't expect that one.
You know what I would ask if I were Melania? Explain your red pantsuit on Election Day.
You would ask that.
I would.
Okay, so the two first ladies are being limousined.
Yeah, they left together.
Up to the Capitol.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where's the next limo? The boys have got to go next.
Well, yeah.
Here he comes.
Okay, so here comes the beast.
That's the beast. Okay.
Well, they got several of them.
Yeah, right.
So this is going to be for the two presidents.
Yeah.
I did not know this happened. I thought they went separately. I wonder if this is a first.
I don't know. I have seen. Old footage of two presidents together in a carriage going to the inauguration.
Oh.
So yeah, I think they have, and I've also seen it in an open air limo where they've gone together as well. But I think that maybe this is a surprise for some of us that thought maybe these two guys wouldn't.
Well, again, this is a time for them to do what's best for the country.
Yeah.
This is a time for them to dignify the office more than anything else and make this peaceful and to do this right. I mean, the differences have been expressed and millions of dollars spent expressing the differences. Quad millions of dollars to express the differences. And so this is the time in the country. The whole world is watching this. The whole world is watching this. So this is the hopefully the continuation of the peaceful transfer of power. So, okay. Oh, this is.
Oh, wow.
This is the Vances.
Oh.
I think.
Oh. Do you think that when the two presidents are talking about stuff and peaceful transition of power, that includes the Wi-Fi password in the White House?
Okay, so the two vice presidents are getting in.
How about this? Interesting.
Can you imagine the Vance going from?
Oh yeah.
Their story is amazing.
Yeah, their story is amazing. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back as the continuation occurs.
Wow.
Your yard is where life happens, but it can be muddy and hard to maintain. Enjoy a maintenance-free artificial turf lawn all year round with Smart Lawn LLC. No mowing, no fertilizing, no watering. Our synthetic grass is beautiful and resilient. It's certified to be lead-free, and there's no need for pesticides. Safe for your children and pets. Smart Lawn LLC has all your artificial turf and putting green areas covered beautifully. 541-941-3538.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go, So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Jesus says this in John 15, verses 8 and 16. You bring glory to my Father. You want to bring glory to Father? Here's how you do it. You bring glory to my Father, and you show you're my disciples. You want to prove you're really a follower of Christ? You show you're my disciples by bearing much fruit. Notice that word, much fruit. God wants a big family. He says, I chose you and I've called you to bear fruit, fruit that will last. Now, I want you to notice from that verse, Jesus says, God expects me, and he expects you, and he expects this church to bear much fruit. So that's what we're going to believe God for. Now, even more important is that God promises and God guarantees your fruitfulness in life if you follow certain instructions.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Okay, welcome back. Inauguration Day, Martin Luther King Jr.'s Day, and we're keeping you posted. They're slowly leaving the White House, working their way to the Capitol, and we'll be in and out of that. But in the meantime, ceasefire, hostage exchange. Really? Let's check in with CBN News Watch and get caught up.
This is CBN News Watch.
Thanks for joining us for CBN News Watch. I'm Brody Carter. We've got a lot to get to today. We begin in the Middle East, where many Israelis are rejoicing over the return of the first 3 hostages under the controversial ceasefire agreement. But Hamas fighters come back out of hiding, declaring they've won a big victory over Israel. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl has this story.
Joy and tears surrounded the 3 women, Emily Damari, Doron Steinbrecher, and Romy Gonen, as they returned to Israel and the embrace of family and friends. As the 3 arrived at the Sheba Medical Center outside Tel Aviv, the crowd went wild. Friends were beside themselves with joy.
Our hearts are bursting, exploding. She looks just like she did when she left, as special and beautiful as she is.
Inside, the medical professionals took over.
I'm happy to report that they are in stable condition that allows us and them to focus on what is the most important thing for now, is reuniting with their families.
The Israeli military's chief spokesman weighed in after the women's release.
We cannot imagine the horrors these 3 young women have endured in 50 months of Hamas captivity.
Until the last moment in Gaza, the 3 hostages were terrorized, with Hamas gunmen and thousands of Gazan civilians surrounding their convoy and screaming at them. Hamas gave them gift bags with certificates of release, a map of Gaza, and photos of their time in captivity. Then the women were handed over to the Red Cross, which transported them into the hands of Israeli forces. As soon as the ceasefire took place, scores of armed Hamas fighters appeared from their hiding places and quickly took control again in the streets of Gaza. They're declaring they've won a mighty victory over Israel. This image of a conquering Hamas terrorist with his foot on the back of kneeling Benjamin Netanyahu is making the rounds in Arab media. The head of Hamas's military wing put out a video calling for Palestinians in the so-called West Bank to escalate their attacks on Israel. Hagari says the IDF is ready to face any threat.
In this agreement, there are risks and there are challenges. We know how to come back and fight and stand up for all the goals of the war.
Shortly after Hamas freed the 3 women hostages, Israel began releasing 90 Palestinian prisoners. Dozens of them are terrorists who murdered Jews in well-known terror attacks, one of the most frightening aspects for Israelis. As the deal goes forward, Hamas is supposed to release 30 more prisoners in the coming weeks in exchange for hundreds more terrorists. Negotiations are supposed to continue until all hostages are released and a permanent ceasefire is in place. With the Trump administration taking over today, Senator Lindsey Graham insists Hamas' declaration of victory will be short-lived.
This war will never end with Hamas in charge of Gaza, politically or militarily. Their days are numbered.
Graham also suggests that the new administration gives support to Israel in dealing with an even larger threat, an Iran that could soon be armed with nuclear bombs.
I am hoping there will be an effort by Israel to decimate the Iran nuclear program supported by the United States, and if we don't do that, it will be a historical mistake.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Well, CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell is with us now from Jerusalem. Chris, this deal making waves nationwide, and in Washington, Senator Lindsey Graham says Hamas's days are numbered, but Hamas is calling this deal a victory. So how strong or weak is Hamas now, and how can Israel make sure that Hamas does not come out as the winner?
Well, Brody, they're certainly declaring that they are the winner. How does Israel go back to declare? Go back to fighting and defeat them once for all? As we saw, the Palestinians are celebrating. Hamas is claiming a victory. And right now, the IDF offensive is stopped, and we hear, eventually, Brody, there's going to be 1,700 Palestinians released if this deal continues. 1,000 of those would be prisoners from the fighting in Gaza. Another would be 700 terrorists, many, as Julie said in her report, with blood on their hands. Really, this has been Hamas's strategy from the beginning, using the hostages as really trade bait, along with the international pressure to just stop the IDF. So right now, at least in some parts of Gaza, Hamas is taking control. They're also in control of the humanitarian aid. And as we saw right now here in Israel, Brody, it's a reeling and conflicted time. It's an open wound on Israeli society, these hostages. It's one big family. Many are euphoric about the release of the three women, Doron, Romy, and Emily. Tears, celebrations, and yet so many are concerned that those released prisoners will kill again. And it's not just theoretical. It's been chronicled. For example, back in 2011, more than 1,000 Palestinians were released for one IDF soldier. And the Shin Bet Israel security agencies say those terrorists killed over 190 Israelis.
We'll wait and see, one by one, little. So what we see here is the motorcade now is leaving the White House and working its way to the Capitol. And so apparently the two presidents in that car.
Yeah.
On their way up to.
A lot of people on the side. I've been watching some cheering going on, and people seem pretty excited.
Yeah. Most of what you see over there is security.
Yeah.
You can see all the
there's a lot of
you can see all the uniforms.
You are right.
I don't know if those are fans.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think that's all security. There might be a few that have sneaked through. This is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll keep you posted on that as the morning goes on here. So, all right.
Yeah. Do you want to do any weather, or are we good?
It's cold out there.
All right, let's take a look at history.
All right.
Okay. Well, it is a big day in our country's history today. We're watching history unfold, but especially with all the inaugural events. But it was on this day in history that the first presidential inauguration parade was carried on live TV. On January 20th, 1949, a historic moment unfolded as Harry Truman took the oath of office for his first full term as president. But it wasn't just the inauguration ceremony that caught the nation's attention. It was the parade that followed, broadcast live for the very first time ever. 10 million people, a staggering number for that time, tuned in to watch the inaugural parade on television. For the first time, Americans could experience the spectacle of marching bands, soldiers, and floats from the comfort of their homes. The streets of Washington, D.C. were filled with excitement, but the real magic was happening in living rooms across the country, where families gathered around their new TV sets to witness history in real time. It was a day that not only marked Truman's victory, but also the dawn of a new era in mass media, forever changing the way people connected with their government and with each other. I think they should go back to top hats.
Yeah.
Yep.
Kennedy did.
Kennedy wore a top hat. Now, I think he was the last one.
Could have been.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, this is Martin Luther King Day, and let us not forget this event. And this is another one of his iconic speeches given on April 3rd, 1968.
Are we safe
to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Well, the following day, he was assassinated in Memphis, Tennessee. The mountaintop speech, going for that. All right, well, we're tracking the happenings at the in Washington, D.C. as the motorcade with the presidents, plural, is entering the gates at the Capitol. And we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Owning a small business is kind of a big deal. State Farm agent Rory Wold can help you find the right insurance coverage at the right price. Call Rory for a quote today.
Spring is around the corner and summer is on its way. With fire danger biting at its heels, flammable blackberries and underbrush will grow like gangbusters and sprout fire danger in no time. A wise property owner knows the best time to take care of fire danger is to extinguish it before it gets started. GMV Forestry, LLC can help you protect your property with adequate fire brush clearing to fireproof a zone around your precious property. With over 35 years experience, GMV Forestry LLC has the knowledge, experience, and all the equipment you need to get the job done right, offering a wide variety of services like mulching, field mowing, snow removal, driveway clearing, ditch cleaning, gravel delivery and spreading, driveway sweeping, logging, and more. GMV Forestry LLC does it all, and they do it right. GMV Forestry LLC, the team you can trust. 541-660-6445. 541-660-6445.
Welcome
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and so timely to have back with us somebody I so appreciate. Dr. Carson is the founder of American Cornerstone Institute. Alan Dershowitz, a lawyer, obviously, a Harvard professor of law. Dr. Erwin Lutzer, pastor emeritus of the Moody Church in Chicago. Been a long time. David Limbaugh is back with us. I'm honored to have evangelist Dr. Elvita King with us.
For more Focus Today episodes and podcasts, go to theDove.us.
All right, welcome back. Let's go back over to the Capitol right now as President Biden and President-elect Trump have entered the Capitol.
Yeah.
Working their way in.
Working their way together. Interesting. It's interesting to see them like this.
Yeah.
A bit of civility. Oh, who's going to go through the door first?
Trump. He just did.
He just did.
Yeah. I don't know. This is such an amazing time in American history, not only because it's Inauguration Day, but where you have such bitter rivalries, political rivalries.
Well, there's Elon.
There's Elon, yes.
Wow.
There, you kind of wonder, the losing side, what do they do? So,
you know what? You've mentioned the security, but I would love to know some of the details of the security and what it takes to get into that room. What do you have to do?
I have no idea. I'm sure you have to have an invitation. There's Vice President-elect and his wife. I'm sure you have to have a invitation, and then you have to go through the security check and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I would imagine the people arranging all of this and putting it all together. By the way, there is an inauguration team by the incoming president that has heavy influence in all of this. And so we'll see what it is. He's probably got his select group. I haven't seen the family go in. I just saw the two presidents and their spouses go in and the vice president, but I haven't seen their family yet. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on this.
What time is the swearing in scheduled?
Well, it has to be before noon.
Okay.
So it's now it's 8 o'clock, so it's 11 o'clock there. And so this will be going next hour, folks, so you know, at the Dove, we'll be carrying Newsmax coverage of this so that you can follow it and see what's going on. So
very interesting. Very interesting.
So
you want to do Aldo, or where do you want to go?
I want you to do your kicker.
You want to do that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we love stories that honor our military veterans, and here's another one that took place at Disney World in Florida. Check this out.
Surrounded by loved ones, retired U.S. Army Colonel William Bill A. Connolly, age 100, was honored at Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom in Orlando last Friday evening during a flag retreat ceremony. Connolly stood tall and proud as he saluted the flag that had been risen from half-staff in honor of the late former President Jimmy Carter before being lowered and folded to be given to him. Afterward, Disney cast members lined up to shake Connolly's hand. Then something unfamiliar happened next when park visitors also lined up to thank him for his service. Connolly said he felt great after the ceremony. When asked what his secret is to a long life, Connolly said, having happy people around you. Connolly, originally from King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, was drafted into the Army when he was 18. He served with the 115th Regiment of the 29th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army and fought in the battle on D-Day at Omaha Beach, Normandy, according to a biography shared by his family. He was involved in both the European and Pacific theaters during World War II. He spent 27 years in the military and was awarded the Bronze Star for meritorious service in a combat zone. He is the father of 3 daughters, a grandfather of 6, a great-grandfather of 6, and became a centurion on Saturday. Connolly's wife of 63 years, Jean, passed away in 2016. The World War II veteran's humility shined through when he said his service in the military was nothing special. The daily flag retreat ceremony tradition on Main Street, USA Town Square dates back to the park's opening day on October 1st, 1971. It features the Pledge of Allegiance, the singing of God Bless America, and the Star-Spangled Banner. Disney World's website reads, "The ceremony is a tribute, a thank you to veterans for their service, sacrifice, and dedication to protecting our country."
Outstanding.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff all the way around. All right, well, listen, we got special programming coming up. Take with you here Romans 15:13. May God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing, so that by the power of the Holy Spirit you may abound in hope. Romans 15:13 is a great scripture for today. Be praying for America today. This is a critical day. I realize that there are political winners and losers. There's right, left, there's blue, red, there's all this other stuff going on. But this is a day where this is a unique day in American history, one that should be protected and cherished, whether you like who's going in and coming out, whatever the deal is.
Yep.
This is a big deal in America. So let's go back to a little bit of outgo video of what's going on. And I'm not sure all these people are.
I don't know, but here we go.
Yeah.
Back in the rotunda.
So it's going to be in the rotunda today. The other time this has happened was President Reagan's second term had to be indoors. And then they'll have the iconic of the two presidents walking out on the east side of the Capitol, down those long steps where President Biden and his wife will be boarding Marine One and flying off. And President Trump becomes the 47th president of the United States. So this speech is going to be iconic, to say the least.
Yeah, I can't wait.
They're saying today that's going to be between 100 and 200 executive orders signed throughout the day.
Yeah, including maybe military going down to the southern border.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
He could even sign one right in the middle of his speech. I mean, you got to remember one thing about him. He's a showman.
Yes, he is.
Okay, there's former Vice
Pence.
President Mike Pence.
What?
Yep.
Where's he going?
Well, hopefully to the rotunda.
Why is he there?
Well, he would be, yeah.
Okay.
He's a former vice president.
All right.
Your fears that seem paralyzing to you, your fears that may seem uncontrollable, they show you what you really value, what matters to you in this life. And that we have to remedy that not by valuing other things 0%, but by valuing Jesus more. Because when we know that He numbers the hairs on our head, that He controls the insignificant things like sparrows falling to the ground, we begin to think, yeah, He's got it, and I don't have to be in control. I don't need to fear.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site 24/7 in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
An estimated 11 million Americans have heart valve disease, but it is often only detected when your heart is listened to by a healthcare professional. If diagnosed early, it can usually be successfully treated, no matter what your age. So listen to your heart, see your healthcare professional, discuss your risk factors and any potential symptoms, and go to valvediseaseday.org to learn more.
Images are devastating, and the stories heartbreaking.
Families and individuals have lost everything. The wildfires in Los Angeles are the most destructive in city history.
The fire victims need our help.
If the Lord has put it on your heart to help those affected by these historic fires, listed are organizations sharing the love of Christ in much-needed relief efforts to the LA fire victims.
The Dove cares. God bless you.
And thank you for your help.
The Battle of Political and Religious Liberty with Jay Sekulow, Wednesdays and Thursdays on the Dove TV, encouraging and informative.
Okay, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and we're going to be joining Newsmax 2 live for full coverage of the inauguration of President Trump inside the Capitol Rotunda in Washington, D.C. So let's go there now.
Competitors, and here they are standing a foot away from each other. But, you know, it's good business. Donald Trump is good business. And there's Bill and Hillary walking in. Gotta wonder what's on their minds today and her mind. No.
I don't know what they call that. There's a certain face. Yeah, it's a certain face.
It's a resting
something.
She's resting. Right?
She's resting her face. She's trying her best. But
what about Miriam Allison, who's a multi-billionaire? No Michelle Obama. We should see Barack Obama, to your point, shortly, solo. But what about Miriam Allison, a multi-billionaire, taking selfies, or at least photos of the crowd, just like the rest of us at a ball game or something?
Just like the rest of us.
Billionaires, just like all of us.
They're just like us. They are. I know. Maybe we'll have a game. Maybe we'll have a game of who wore it best. I haven't seen any duplicatives efforts yet. Yes, but we know they're not just like us.
Let's also watch closely.
We know none of this.
Let's watch closely here too. If W does any belly slaps like he did at the Carter funeral.
See how he greets everyone. After the inaugural address, and you see Laura Trump and their children right there, various family members now filing in. Again, limited seats, but we've already seen hundreds who have come in, and these family, friends, and there is Barack Obama. The 44th president of the United States. But remember, after the first Trump inaugural and the talk about American carnage, and John, it's interesting because Axios had this whole thing about how this will be a more hopeful speech. After the last one in American carnage, George W. Bush allegedly turned to Hillary Clinton and said, boy, that was some weird blank. Yeah. Right? And that really made a lot of news because it capsulized. Even Republicans think this is weird. But you know what? He was right. They say Trump was right. He was right about American carnage and the border and crime in our cities. And that's large part why he won the last campaign. He was ahead of his time on that. And there's Tim Cook of Apple.
And when he said it stops right here, right now, obviously the message will be different today, but it still resonates because that's what needs to happen at 12:01. A lot of this carnage, the border, the DEI stuff, all the environmental stuff that they told us.
Incredible change coming.
The environmental stuff that they put in place, but they told us they were reducing the inflation with all the environmental spending that they did. That all needs to stop immediately.
To your point, you know, American carnage. Donald Trump doesn't talk like a traditional politician, okay? He is an outsider. He isn't somebody who maybe is polished in a certain way and going to, you know, speak these, you know, words and always the most eloquent. But you know what? He is a pass from the American people because they have seen what the liberals and Joe Biden's leadership have done to their wallets, have done to their streets, have done to their families. So now they're like, okay, Donald Trump, he's a little bit gruff, but guess what? He's going to go out there, he's going to drive a garbage truck. He's going to not too proud to go take some French fries and serve them up. And we don't even know if Kamala ever worked at McDonald's. Basically now, I'm not saying he is a complete hall pass, but Donald Trump, no matter how he delivers the message, if the results are what Americans want, they're going to let him say, well, that's just the way he talks. But you know what? He's getting the job done. And we didn't see Joe Biden get much done in the past 4 years. And that's the cold, hard truth. So Donald Trump, as rough as he could be, even in today's speech, I think that people are going to say that's just Trump being Trump.
Pete Hegseth. And there's my friend Pete Hegseth. Worked together with him for a long time. About a month ago, it looked like his nomination might be gone. He survived, and it looks like he's going to be confirmed very shortly. Laura Trump, who ran the Republican National Committee as well. And John, look, I think this is the embodiment of the American dream.
Yes.
I mean, where else, in what other country could someone like Donald Trump work at McDonald's 6 months ago and now be sworn in?
Not just working at McDonald's, he also drove a garbage truck. And, you know, he had a little bit of an issue with his criminal record, too. It's all behind him now.
He's a convicted felon, and he's going to be sworn in. How about that?
I was just trying to be a little bit more diplomatic with the phrasing, Ed, but you're